Good evening, Westwood, and welcome to Fly Field for a TVL matchup between the visiting Medfield Warriors and your Westwood Wolverines. And folks, we have ourselves a dandy. We have two top teams in the TVL, and I'm going to hand it over to Evan to go through the records as I try and fix the music. We're doing a couple things up here. Oh, it fixed itself. There we go. Sometimes I just got to talk to myself and it fixes it.
But Morgan,
save that one for the bloopers, Evan.
Yeah, we'll have to add that on the ever-growing highlight reel I keep. But yes, Morgan, this is going to be a top matchup. TVL small, Medfield Warriors coming in 11-1 on the year. Their only loss to Bishop Feehan 2-1 early in the season. They are ranked number 1 in Division III MIAA power rankings.
Number 3 in the state, too.
They're coming to face the 9-2-1 Westwood Wolverines, who are 12th in Division II. This should be a good matchup, folks. We have two powerhouse programs. Westwood is, starting to really get hot here late in the season. As we're approaching playoff time, they're moving up in the rankings. A couple weeks ago, MIAA had Westwood ranked just outside the top 16. They're now at 12th. That gets them to a home spot. And, a lot of the line, Morgan, tonight, if Westwood wins, that puts them at 10 wins, the 10 wins that you need to advance the playoffs and clinch. And they look to do it against a very good Medfield Warriors team.
TVL title still on the line for the large. So Hopkinton lost to Medfield 3-0. Looked human, It's the TVL has never been stronger in my opinion. You got so many good teams that there is no free win, and anyone can win on any given night. And exactly what you said, Evan. I want to share that same sentiment that this is a pivotal game for the Wolverines where they've moved up. They made a nice jump in the power rankings. They started in the 20s when the first rankings came out. And then they've been able to work their way up to the 12th spot. And if they can get inside the top 8, which is their goal, top 4 even better, they will get 2 home games. They will get us at the game on the mics, loud as ever, for their playoff games. And that is home field advantage when you're able to play at Play Hive with Westwood Media Center covering your games. And this is, a team that we've been talking about each game. They're getting better and better. You got so many young kids that have earned their way into the starting lineups. I'm looking at the starting lineups right now. A couple freshmen, that we've been calling all season. Charlie Jurgens, Vanetta Stamatakos. I want to also shout out sophomores. Avery Bohm. She's having herself a season. She's an outside back, so she plays the opposite side of Olivia Mason. And she's got, I think, 2 or 3 goals this year. So, the fact of what she's doing defensively, but also chipping in with some offense is incredible. And Olivia Mason is doing Olivia Mason things. She's one of the top defenders in the TVL, if not the state. No one's getting by her on the outside. She then turns those defensive stops into great transition that turn into great offensive looks. And it's been, really Westwood's MO. They play from the back line up, solid defense. And you got 2 great goaltenders. Tonight is Chilangua is going to be starting tonight. Sophia Bertone has been terrific as well. A lot of shutouts amongst them. So this is going to be a great test. I said to head coach Seth Lukash, this weather, this time of year kind of reminds me a little bit of last year when they took on Hopkinton at home. Live game, by the way. Good things happen when it's a live game or there's a live game tomorrow, which there's a live football game. So, some live game vibes in the building.
Yeah, I mean, this is I think this is a closer matchup than, you might look at. Medfield, a powerhouse within the state, third-ranked opponent, and Westwood sort of coming in here at home as the underdogs. And I think this is going to be a real test. But like you said, very similar vibes to last fall when Westwood faced the powerhouse that is Hopkinton, and it took a 3-1 win. I think the big thing is the resurgence of youth in the program. So, like you said, Morgan, 4 freshmen, not to mention, like you said, Aaron Gannon, a sophomore who is chasing the all-time goals record. It's set by Izzy Hansen this year, who's also on the team. So, when you have a high-scoring offense like Westwood, it's going to come down to a battle of the defense and basically the goaltenders. That's who you're going to be looking for and seeing, just who has a more solid game as we get set almost to kick off here at Fly Field. And a beautiful fall night, but a little chillier today, Morgan.
I don't see officials just yet, so I haven't gone over to the I'm doing double duty tonight. Going to do the pregame, the starting lineups. but I don't see the officials just yet.
I'll have
They
to
might be doing
let's check
a
to see if
freshman,
there's a
varsity,
JV
freshman or
game
JV
going
game.
on.
Yeah.
I got the calendar up. We are set up for the live game tomorrow, like Morgan
Yes.
said. Westwood facing Norwood for the border battle. That should be a good game as we get ready for that. And I see junior varsity girls soccer versus Medfield, which is home and it's at the middle school. So I would imagine
That's probably why they were parked over there.
right.
And there they are. So I'm going
And
to
there
go
they
kick
are.
off the starting lineups.
All right. And we are going to pass it over to Morgan Donahue for your starting lineups.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Play High Field for a TBL matchup between the visiting Medfield Warriors and your Westwood Wolverines. To kick off tonight's pre-game ceremony, I want to start with the starting lineup, starting with the visiting Medfield Warriors. Starting with number 1, Devin Wafer. Number 2, Lila Manning. Number 3, Emily Hoffman. Number 4, Elizabeth George. Number 6, Morgan Kilmer. Number 11, Catherine Rodenhigh. Number 13, Sydney Heavey. Number 15, Summer Higgins. Number 18, Stella Scobo. And number 21, Audrey Grandinetti. And now, the starting lineups for your Westwood Wolverines. Number 7, freshman Charlie Jurgens. Number 16, freshman Vanetta Stamatakos. Number 18, Avery Bohm. Number 15, sophomore Erin Gannon. Number 22, junior Madison Travers. Number 14, junior Lindsay Bannister. Number 25, senior Alessia Chilangwa. Number 21, senior Emma Lou. Number 12, senior captain Olivia Shea. Number 10, senior captain Olivia Mason. And number 19, senior captain Izzy Hansen. And ladies and gentlemen, we ask if you please rise for the playing of the national anthem, which was recorded by Westwood High School alum Adeline Vimenta.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
Thank you, and go Wolverines. All right. We got the officials, we got the starting lineups, and we are almost ready for game time. Captain's going to have a little powwow at the 50, talking about, the different. Each ref has kind of different things they're looking for, what they don't want to see. They kind of set that pregame expectation. We used to, in hockey, they used to say stuff like, "Listen, going to let you play. The stuff I don't want to see. I don't want to see the hits from behind. I don't want to see the elbows. You do you keep it clean. We'll let you play. You won't see too many whistles. You won't see any flags, or cards." And I'm sure very similar in the game of soccer is, play hard, play clean, and you won't hear from us if you do that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Andres Castro last year. I think maybe not for a live game, but maybe the playoff game. I can't quite
Bill
remember.
Ricca.
Bill Ricca, yeah, but I think he said so himself too, a former ref, that the big thing is he doesn't want to have a call that is going to impact the outcome of a game. And I think a lot of these refs are in that. They don't want to have these calls they don't want to be the ones making, calls that are determining outcomes of games. In a match like this where you have two high-powered teams, that risk is a little more elevated, I would say. You got to be mindful. So, you want them to play, smart, clean soccer. You don't want to cause any issues, and I think that's probably what they're expressing there.
Yeah.
But Morgan, it's going to be a night of the elements too. I'm looking at the weather on my laptop that I have here that we have set up for the live game tomorrow, and right now 52 degrees, but it's looking to drop as low as 41 coming up here pretty quick, and as low as 32 later tonight. So
look at you.
Something we're going to have to keep an eye on is how do
Are
these.
you shopping yourself for the big networks over here? Meteorologist Evan Cardamino.
If the Weather Channel wants to give me a call, they can.
That was pretty impressive. This man has the minute by minute updates over here. It is getting a little bit colder by the minute.
It's getting a little chilly, and
feel a little underdressed.
I wore a T-shirt this morning. I thought that'll be fine, and I'm sorely mistaken. But it's not so much about me, as more so as it is how do the athletes handle the elements here. How do they adjust to it?
Yeah. And this is nothing that they're not used to. I mean, this is fall in New England. You're playing soccer, it's outdoors. And, part of the, especially the seniors, they have ways that they prepare for the cold games, when it comes to the layers. My big thing when it came to football was I never wanted to put a layer on. I never wanted to show, I used to think that was showing a sign of weakness, when you were trying to dress for the elements. Some of the tricks I learned is I would wear as many T-shirts as possible. You didn't know. But, as long as the core was warm, your arms are warm. I've seen some other tricks, with putting Vaseline on the arms. That kind of helps insulate as well. But, every sport has their own kind of way of dealing with the elements, dealing with the cold. And it's New England sports for you, 101.
I was going to say, Morgan, my method has always just been being born in Maine.
Yeah.
Just grew up in it.
That's a good method.
You
you would do it though wearing the Hunter's orange, making sure hey, you got to wear that everywhere you go.
Yeah, you gotta have the Hunter's orange, especially this time of year up in rural Maine. So.
Yep. We are almost ready here. You see one of the officials talking with the Medfield goalkeeper. I think they're gonna change out the jersey.
I think because
they're gonna switch from pink to I think more of an orange.
Right, because Westwood is wearing pink tonight for the breast cancer awareness game. A great cause all the teams at Westwood do this time of year, especially in the month of October. But I would imagine the reason is because of wearing the pink goalie shirt. It has to swap to something.
I just got a text from Mike
different.
Mao. He goes, "I can kind of hear you through the PA."
It is probably the microphone that you have
so I'm
plugged in.
gonna kill it.
Hearing us talk about weather and all sorts of things,
And there we go.
I kind of had a feeling because I saw him and Owen Ziegler,
Staring back at
the
you.
two photographers looking up at us, and
yeah. I usually leave the mic on, but just kind of sideways.
Well,
And,
I think
it was
that
perfect angle, I guess.
that mic has to be unplugged for it to get muted. There's no on-off switch on that
Yeah.
microphone. So underway here at Flayhigh Field.
Yes, the Wolverines moving it up on the near side. Medfield with some nice one-touch passing, and they're looking for an opening. Bohm looking to close the door. Lou helping out on the angle. Centering attempt, and that is deflected. Mason was able to kick that out, and Wolverines able to break it out pretty quickly. So that was a pretty impressive rush by Medfield. A couple one-touch passes to get a good look on a cross. Medfield chips it upfield. Westwood keeping it in front of them. A great effort there. It looked like Olivia Shea jumping in on the ball, and it's going to be a infraction on Medfield. Westwood going to have the ball right around, I think, the 45 or so. And this will be a good look. Wolverines can kick the ball pretty well, so, I mean, they can get the ball in the box from out here with some good kicks.
Morgan, can't remember what game it was, but we saw a kick from about that same spot. I believe for the boys. It was
yeah.
early in the season, but
Ethan
it was
Butner. He can kick it 70. He's got like that AJ Alex boot, where he can launch. But I mean, when we've done some write-ups on games that we haven't done, there's been a lot of him kicking it from far back and putting it in the box area, and Westwood jumping on some loose balls. Medfield moving it around on the midfield. They're going to try up the far side. Avery Bohm locked in. One up against Devin Weefer. Centering attempt that's kicked outside. And then picked off by the Wolverines. Bohm. Some great anticipation there. Jumping in front of that pass, working up the far side to Bannister. Bannister close to the sideline. Still inbounds, but she's got two Medfield players on her that force it actually still inbound. So just when I thought it was going to work its way out, it didn't work its way out until it went off Westwood later. But smart move by Medfield. They put two players on her with no room, kind of really not much option to move the ball. Mason kicks it out of bounds. Medfield going to have a throw on the far side. So nice start here at Flayhigh. Both teams moving the ball effectively. Some good defense early on by the Wolverines. Getting a feeling out process when you're dealing with some pretty good athletes. Trying to get a glimpse of the speed, the vision, the moves. All of those things wrapped into one. You get your first feel of it in that 5 to 10 minute mark of how you match up. So free kick for the Wolverines. Chalango going to take it. A low kick. Medfield jumping in front of it. Westwood able to come away with it. Shea kicks it up just past Hansen. Medfield able to jump on that and work it the other way. That ball in open space. Medfield player hit the ground. It's going to be a whistle on Westwood. They'll have a kick inside the 30. And they'll probably look to get one towards the net. TVL action, the teams, when you're inside the 30, they're looking to pick a corner. And if they can't pick the corner, they're looking to just get into traffic. But they got good kicks. They're looking right at the net, and that is just off to the right. That'll be a goal kick for the Wolverines. Evan, if I'm not mistaken, I think when the Wolverines had the big win last year over Hopkinton, they were wearing the pink jerseys.
They were. You are correct. There was a live game on Westwood Media Center. They were playing Hopkinton. It was their breast cancer awareness game as well that year. So,
that's a
like
great
you
kick.
mentioned, very similar vibes.
Yeah.
From last year, a lot of similar comparisons. You have a powerhouse coming onto your home field.
Medfield looking inside. That one was too much, though. Bounced off and then picked up by Chalangwa. But it was a creative pass between the two forwards, strikers there for Medfield. That was off the foot of Sydney Heavey. Heavey sending it back. He's going to work it over to number 2, Lila Manning, but stolen by Bannister. You can hear the Benergy already, Evan. I hear one side is quiet, the other side is loud and getting their teammates fired up.
Something Westwood prides itself on, the Benergy, as they've coined it.
Yes.
Um,
They should make some T-shirts and trademark it, because there's going to be a lot of teams that steal it and say that they created it.
Right.
Oh, great defensive play. Boom. Then shot towards the net is going to go wide. That was a great defensive play, though, by Bohm. It was 2-on-1. She was able to get ahead on that to knock it away from the middle of the field, create a tougher angle for that shot. And Westwood going to have a goal kick, looking to move that ball upfield. And they go with the pass. The Mason looking inside for Lou. Medfield trying to pass. Great defense there. Bohm jumped on front of that pass attempt. And then kicked out of bounds by the Wolverines. Throw in coming from Ava Kraus. The Wolverines kick it on Medfield side of the 50. We got a couple players jumping in the play. Hansen chipping it over into space. He's got Gannon. Gannon looking at it for an angle. Trying to work it back, but Medfield able to get a boot on that. Work it up the far sideline. Number 21, Audrey Grandinetti. Nice defensive play there and good transition. And kicked out by Westwood. Throw in going to come again from Ava Kraus. Westwood able to get a kick on that one. Trying to move it upfield. And Stimataco is able to set it up the sideline. Hansen tracking it down. Medfield able to jump on it before to kick it, work it backwards. Yeah, Medfield's got some nifty moves. Able to make some nice one-on-one moves to change the angle and create some different looks. Ball getting through. Saved by Chalengwa, and she gets the hand on it.
Oh, but there's a whistle, Morgan. That might be... Looks like it's going to be on...
It's going to be a goal kick, or a kick for Westwood. So that's an infraction on Medfield. My heart rate did go up a little bit thinking it might be a penalty kick.
I believe that was an offsides on Medfield.
Oh,
so.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking might be a penalty on Westwood.
I had the same thought, too, because I saw one of the players I think a Medfield player tripped.
Yeah.
But no, that is an offsides. That's going to be Westwood's ball. Close one there, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So Westwood going to have a throw. I think it's Olivia Mason. Goes just over the head of Charlie Jurgens. Medfield able to settle it. Some tight space passing going on by Medfield, and then they're going to throw it into space. Stemataco is going to kick that out of bounds. Smart play. We were talking about it yesterday in field hockey. Sometimes the out-of-bounds kick is the smart one because you allow your teammates to come back and you have, equal numbers. There's a lot of times when the rush is going on and they might have one or two more than yours just because you might have a teammate that's caught down the other end. So it's a smart play to just even the numbers up. That's a pass attempt goes over the net. So Medfield aggressive early. They've got about 3-4 shots already. Just about 10 minutes into the game. They're going to make their first substitution.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you expect out of this team, too. This is, like we mentioned in the pregame, top number one team in Division III right now. So you expect them to come out and be aggressive. And, like we said, both teams are, fighting for stuff. Medfield's trying to keep that number one spot in the MIA power rankings, which will be updated tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then for Westwood, they're looking to clinch playoffs for themselves in Division II. So, definitely expect to see a lot of aggression out of Medfield here.
Yeah.
Not to mention in the classic, it's the Westwood Medfield sort of rivalry.
Brings us back to that podcast with the captains from last year, and we said, which game are you looking forward to the most? They all said Medfield. You know, they thought Medfield. Medfield had just made the move to the TVL small, so it was kind of a different dynamic. But they still had them on the top of their list.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say too. That's the thing that's changed for the dynamic of this rivalry is that Medfield no longer in the TVL large, moved to TVL small last year, so only facing them once a year at this point.
Got
but
a good look on the outside. Jurgens. A nice pass from Gannon. Gannon on the center, and that's kicked out, and it's called offside. Sorry, Evan.
But no, yeah,
Getting excited there when I saw the ball
I did
advancing.
too.
There.
So,
Yeah.
but like we said, for these two teams, you only see them once a year now, but it just means more in these games, because this is the only game that you're gonna get the opportunity to have a crack at a rival like these two have, a rivalry game, and it's gonna mean a little more. So
I foresee, and this is just me, my own personal opinion, no one else's. I foresee Medfield at some point in the near future going back to the TVL large, or Evan, I see the TVL going to where there's only one TVL winner for the large and the small, because it's just when you have the multiple, you want to be the lone TVL champ.
Yeah.
And historically that was how it went. It was awesome. When you could say we're the one and only, like that is and not to say like it takes away from when you have it with multiples, but I think part of that was exciting was not only was it you were going for the sole TVL championship, but you had to do it through a Medfield, you had to do it through a Hopkinton, you had to do it through a Holliston, and this was iron. These teams were unbelievable. So like that was like the best brag is not only just being able to do it. TVL shot on net. Chilangua gets a piece of it and then kicked out by Westwood on a clear. Not only could you say, hey, we won the TVL, and this is back when there was no large or small, so it was everyone was going for it, but you could say, hey, we had to go through the iron. We had to go through the Medfields, the Hopkintons, the Hollistons, the Medways, everyone. Bellingham football back in the day, they were a wagon. Ricky Santos, he broke the touchdown record before the Swampscott quarterback did.
And Morgan, we're talking about the TVL. I'll give a TVL update to our viewers. So as of tonight, Westwood and Hopkinton tied at the top of the TVL for the TVL Large and Girls Soccer, both with an 8-1 record. Hopkinton tonight has a TVL Large opponent in Dedham.
Wow.
Meanwhile, tonight, Westwood's playing TVL Small, but the race for the TVL Championship for these two in the Large is going to be tight.
It is. Medfield with a quick corner. They went for some passing instead of the traditional corner kick. Chilangua gets her hands on it. She's going to settle it down, then kick it up the near sideline. Takes a Westwood bounce and working towards the sideline. Great effort, though, there by McGovern. McGovern, Evan, had a couple goals the other night against Norton. So shout out to Cassidy McGovern, freshman, 2 goals. Really having a breakout season. All the freshmen are having breakout seasons. It's awesome to see. Yeah,
it's great for the future of the program too. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves and focus on next year. We're in the middle of this season, but it's big when you have freshmen who are playing at this high of a level on varsity. I mean, we talk about Stamatakos a lot. She started first varsity game of the year.
Yeah.
So.
She's allergic to JV.
Right. So, when you have 4 freshmen on the team that are getting meaningful minutes, especially in a TVL matchup, too. This is a league matchup.
Yeah.
And sure, it doesn't, like we talked a little bit earlier about the TVL, it doesn't affect your TVL large standings.
Yeah.
But even then, this is still a meaningful game. It's still a TVL game. It's still a league game. And it's against your rival. This is a game you want. To see that, Coach Lukash entrusts in the skill and knowledge of these freshmen to put them into this game with these meaningful minutes just tells you a lot about that freshman class and also tells you a lot about, the future of this program and where it's heading.
It's not so much the starting for me that they're starting. It's he's had them in there to close games out. And that's like the utmost trust. Shot in the center here. What a save by Chilangua. Big time save. Gets a hand on a low shot that was seeking the back of the left side of the net, and biggest save of the game so far. And that's a shot goes just wide. I think that went just over the net, but what a save, Alessia Chilangua.
This is going to be the big game for the goalies here. I think you're going to see this game come down to a sort of a defensive matchup, and really, truthfully, who blinks first? You know,
Yeah.
who sort of, we see right now, especially Medfield's getting a lot of pressure on Westwood. I like to see what we've seen time and time again with the soccer teams, both boys and girls, is they'll let their opponent have the pressure early on. You know, they're going to play defense, and then as they sort of start to see what Medfield's giving them offensively and defensively, kind of letting the game come to them, and then, you know, sort of deciding their attack at that point. You know, they're not. Coach Lukash isn't afraid to say, hey, first 20 minutes, let's see what this team gives us, and then maybe we can make the mid-game, in-game adjustments and start to get on the attack. And we've seen time and time again, Westwood will start to get more and more pressure on their side of the field. Right now, it seems like we spent a little bit of time defensively, but, you know, going based off of just sort of this team's trends, that's what I would expect to see here in the next 10 or so minutes.
That ball goes out of bounds on the baseline, and that is going to be, I believe, a corner kick. So out on Westwood, Medfield going to have, I think, their second or third corner.
I think third. We've seen a couple of corner kicks this
They
game
did like,
already.
so they'll probably, it looks like they're going to set up with the traditional, but they had a couple of quick passes on the either the first or second one. Here's a traditional one going into the box area. Westwood able to get on top of it. Medfield sends it back to the outside. Unger all over it, forcing Medfield to change the angle. Medfield going to work it back. Inside. Some quick passes, but great anticipation there. Jurgens disrupts that pass attempt.
And that's going to be an offsides on
Yeah.
Medfield.
That's interesting. We've seen 2 offsides where it's been like not the traditional offsides you see, where it's like a through pass or a send pass. It's been, you know, a short pass offside. So they're definitely coached to do that, to be aggressive on, you know, when the ball is deep in Westwood territory, do some quick passes like that.
Yeah.
Right back to work, Medfield goes, able to steal the ball, looking to get some space. And Westwood does a great job keeping that outside. Great job. They had 2 players there to force the Medfield player to advance it, and then that was kicked out by, I believe, Stamatakos. And then we're going to get a goal kick upcoming. You know what? I like the style, though, so far tonight. You know, Medfield has been playing on, you know, downhill. They've been probably had the possession 80% of the time so far. But Westwood has had a couple good looks. All it takes is one.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about these games are, you know, there's a lot of busy work going on, but not much, you know, pay dirt. We haven't seen pay dirt yet.
Yeah. I mean,
Shot from the outside is going to go wide left.
and like we said, you know, Medfield's keeping the pressure now, and you know, these games sort of come in waves too, and you'll see at some point the offense here. The thing too about this strategy that's interesting is we talk about, you know, stamina. Soccer's a sport where you need to. It's all about endurance, how long you can stay on the field. I don't think we've seen many substitutions so far this half. So the thing too is you know, do you have the stamina to keep, you know, your offense moving? This, and it goes vice versa for Westwood too. Does Westwood's defense have the stamina to
Avery Bohm, great
sort
defense.
of to make a turnover happen? So for these two teams, you know, it's coming in waves, and I think what you'll see next is, you know, can Westwood sort of, you know, their offense is sort of getting the energy on the field. They're not using as much as they normally would. Are we going to see them maybe get a breakout here soon if
Yeah.
Westwood's defense can get something going?
Westwood's defense just layered, and they are just able to answer. And we got to get a timeout called, so we'll take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back after the timeout. You're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Soccer.
I grew up right here in Islington, wearing the green and white for Westwood High. I wasn't the star quarterback or the Tri-Valley League MVP. I was the guy in the back of the room, learning from the best, filling in where my team needed me. And as a team, we won 2 Super Bowl championships. These years taught me that every role matters, The unsung heroes, the backups, the younger players, they complete the team. And that's the heart of Neroli. From the cooks, to the servers, to the dishwashers, we're a team built on discipline, sacrifice, and trust, delivering authentic Italian dishes to our community. I'm proud to sponsor our hometown teams, not just the All-Stars, but every player grinding it out, because I've been there. Teamwork built me, it built Neroli, and it's building Islington. So come join us for dinner, and let's cheer on our teams together.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian. And Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Welcome back, folks. Medfield starting to work their way on the field. We had a incoming bus. I think it may have been the boys' team, and they had a little pep in the step with their cheer. So I'm gonna get a score update.
Yeah, I'm working on the score update
It
right
sounded like
now
it might have
for
been
you.
positive. I've heard louder entrances though, so we don't know. We'll see.
I am
Both
looking at the
teams
wrong
coming on the
team.
field. This is that's a good sign when a timeout's called. It means that Westwood's frustrating them a little bit. They're trying to change things up. And one of the things I wanted to bring up, Evan, is when you got a great defensive team like in the Wolverines, you're going to start frustrating teams that are used to scoring. When they're not able to kind of move the ball the way they normally are and are capable of doing, start to get frustrating. And it's a way where you're able to kind of take that and use it to your advantage if you're Westwood.
And Medfield's a team that's used to scoring. I'm going to pull it up right now for you to take a little sidetrack from my sort of other info look up. But in the last 3 games, Medfield has not allowed a goal. They've scored 3-0 on Hopkinton, 2-0 on Oliver Ames, 5-0 on Holliston. Prior to that, on September 27th, they scored 8-2. They won 8-2 over Franklin, 6-0 on Dedham, 8-0 on Norwood, and 5-1 on Medway. This is a team that's just not used to not scoring multiple goals a game. This is a really high-powered offense, and Westwood's hung in there. And I got to give a lot of credit to Chilangwa, who has had some amazing saves so far this game. Truthfully, that's been a big part of this game.
Totally.
Westwood's defense has been layered, and it has really slowed down this Medfield attack. But, we've had a couple saves tonight by Chilangwa that have been, goal saving. So
Kept it tied up here at 0. A whistle on the field. It's going to be a Westwood ball. Westwood going to move up into position. I think Stamatako is going to take the kick. It's good positioning here. Wolverines have it inside the 40. Looking to get quality shot towards or at the net. Anything can happen when you put it towards the net. We've seen it. That's a good-looking shot. Takes a one hop and then saved by the Medfield goalkeeper, but a great kick by Vanetta Stamatakos, kicking it through traffic, and a nice one-hop save by the Medfield goalkeeper. That ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a Westwood throw, I believe. But that's frustrating, when you are throwing everything in the kitchen sink on net and, the other team gets gets a good look, they put that in the back of the net. That is a frustrating, and it's not about how many shots you get on net, it's how many quality, and also more important than that, what are the shots that convert? What are the shots that convert into goals? If you have 2 shots on net, 2 goals, that's pretty good. That's you're working with a pretty darn good percentage there. That is perfect, and that's what matters. And you see styles of teams. You see some teams that shoot very little because they want to get the right shots instead of a volumetric approach. Both have proven to be successful though, because the a volumetric approach with shots, you're going to score on some rebounds. You're going to score on some deflections, own goals, and stuff like that. But when you kind of wait it out for the more quality shots, that's really hard to defend because you don't know what's coming. You don't know, a lot of times you say, oh, they're going to shoot. Nope, they go for the open player on the far side or on the back post for, the layup goal.
So, Morgan, no score update to report yet for you.
I don't see any boys players walking over yet. Sometimes we see that, immediately after they come off the bus. So I think there was a couple games today. There's a shot towards the net, and that goes in the back of the net for a goal. So a free kick, able to get a piece of that one and get that in the back of the net for the first goal. And Medfield goes up 1-0 here with 17 minutes remaining in the first half.
So, Morgan, tonight we've been talking a lot about the comparison between last year's Hopkinton game and tonight's game. And the one point I'll make about that is the very first goal was for Hopkinton. Yep. So, if you're Westwood here, you got to just, yep, it happened. You let up a goal, but you got to put that behind you and focus on getting some offense going and, getting that offensive pressure on for the Wolverines and making sure that you can keep it going and not, continue to play the defense that has been working for you and continue to, try and frustrate this Medfield offense. Yep. But, start to get some pressure. And I think we're going to start to see it here pretty shortly.
Gannon jumps on a loose ball, is going to send it up the sideline. Bohm chasing after it. It goes off a Medfield player, and Evan, here's another poetic statement from comparisons between this game and the Hopkinton game, is Westwood scored their tying goal in the Hopkinton game off a corner kick. Hansen gonna kick it. It's a good one. Nice play by Medfield. Header in the box. Able to keep that outside. Ball's still somewhat loose. Mason chipping it into space. Hansen there. And she scores! Izzy Hansen on a beautiful pass by Mason. Chips it over the goalkeeper and under the bar to tie it up at 1.
Morgan, do you have lottery numbers while you're at it?
Oh, my gosh. What a goal. Wolverines tie it up, and you think this one means something? They were fired up. You can hear the Benergy from here, and we are knotted up at 1.
That's exactly what you need if you're Westwood, too. You need to, you are down 1-0 to a really good team. That's the first goal that Medfield's let up in the last 3 games. So, it's easy to, when you're playing this much of a talented team, to maybe it could get away from you. So, that's big for Westwood momentum-wise as well.
Medfield trying to send it. Bohm was able to get a head on it. Goes up in the air. Medfield settles it. Looking to work it outside, and a great play by, that was Stamatakos, who was able to keep that ball to the outside. That did go out on Westwood, and it will be a corner for Medfield. We're going to get a lefty corner kick. Don't see that too often.
No.
A lot of righties in the TVL. That's a kick into the box, headed out by Westwood, and going to be a redo here. I didn't know if that ball was going to be able to work its way under the bar, Evan, when it came off of Hansen's foot.
It had sort of the right, it almost looked like it was going to, actually. But
what a smart, high IQ play. That ball goes close to the net and saved by Chalengwa.
I understand why you put a lefty kicker out in that situation.
That's why. You get a little spin to work it in.
A spin, and we talk, you and I talk a lot about lefty punters. Let's talk about lefty corner kickers. The ball spins differently off the lefty's foot. So
a Tav Lodovico corner kick right there. When she's serving with the left hand, it's the teams are, it's hard to kind of pick up the spin. We got a Westwood player hit the turf. I believe it was Gannon. Going to be a Westwood kick. So Westwood's going to have a good look here. Stamatakos had a nice one-hopper about 10 minutes ago. I imagine she'll probably be taking the kick here. Yes, she will. And Wolverine is going to have a good look here. 14 minutes remaining here in the first half. Knotted up at 1. So there's a substitution by Medfield, which was reason for, and they're going to move the ball up even further. So Westwood going to have the kick around the, it's going to be inside the 35. I think on the 30, so there's even better positioning. And we're going to get a kick from Travers. Travers got a boot, Evan. So against Medway, she had a kick probably 5 yards inside there and hit the crossbar. So she might be trying to pick a corner, and she does kick a good one towards the net and saved by Medfield goalkeeper. That's a boot. She's got a great kick. And there she is. Keeps the ball in front. Westwood pushing the ball back into Medfield territory. Hansen trying to break loose and then kicked out of bounds by Medfield. So Westwood forcing Medfield to play a little bit uncomfortable. You know, Westwood really starting to get their game going now after that goal. They got a little buzz from the goal and the Benergy.
This is what we said too. You know, Westwood's going to see what Medfield gives them, and late in this first half, they're going to start to, put the pressure on. We've seen it here. They got a goal, and that's going to be, I believe, an offsides on Westwood. Yeah. So you're going to have a kick here from Medfield, but that's exactly what, we sort of mentioned earlier in this game is Westwood's going to let the game come to them and see what Medfield gives them, and then start to sort of raise the aggression and put the pressure on, and we've seen that here so far in this game from Westwood. So
physical play there. Stamatakos was standing in the ground there and went out of bounds. Medfield throw. Gannon trying to kick a ball down field. Hansen there to help out. Then Gannon does get the boot on it. She's got McGovern to the left battling for it. Ball gets loose. Just her and the goalkeeper, and then deflection. The goalkeeper was trying to knock it loose and then went off of Gannon or McGovern. Then out of bounds on Medfield. Westwood going to have the throw deep in Medfield territory.
Dangerous for Medfield there. That was a one-on-one opportunity against the goalkeeper, and had she just gotten just past the goalie, it was a golden opportunity for Westwood. But still, keeping that pressure going. That's exactly what you need to do if you're the Wolverines.
Westwood throw again. Hansen playing it to herself with a couple defenders on her. Just out again on Medfield. Westwood throw.
Well, I'm sure Medfield has done their research, and if you do your research on this team, you'll know Izzy Hansen is one of those players that you have to double team there, and they did just that. Mm-hmm. Izzy Hansen coming off a recent Globe of the Week player.
There we go. Ball in open space. Bannister and Shea were over there looking to get on top of a good hop. It's where size and athleticism help. Shea's height, we've seen her score plenty of goals going up to get it. Her game's so similar to Hannah Calloway with those goals from the corner.
Yeah.
We got a whistle, a couple substitutions oncoming for Medfield as we've reached 10-minute, 15-second mark of the first half. Knotted up at 1. It is getting colder.
That's what we talked about. It was going to drop, and we are getting that drop right now. Let me get you a current update on the weather situation. We're looking at 49 degrees right now, and it is continuing to drop. Expect to see it. We're probably going to be in the mid 40s by the end of this game, and then looking at tonight, you're going to see it around 37 at midnight. It's going to continue to drop into tomorrow morning.
Time to put on the heat, folks, if you haven't put it on the house yet. And get the oil going.
And you're going to see later, just looking ahead for tomorrow's game, you're going to be looking at probably around 55 degrees at kickoff. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be it's that time of year in New England,
We're going to have some special guests tomorrow, too, folks. So be ready to tune in. If you can't be here at Flayhive, which you better have a good excuse, you're going to be in for some terrific people that will be coming and going on the game coverage tomorrow.
It should be a fun one, and
some Westwood legends will be. I've got confirmation of some of the people who will be in attendance, so I will give a tip that 1975 football team will be here, but there's going to be some coaches here that were all-time legends. You know, we're talking about big-time Westwood names. Hansen trying to work it through some traffic. Kicked out by Medfield. That was a great through pass. I believe it was from one of the Westwood defenders. Medfield looking to do one themselves, but great defense. Vanetta Stamatakos. You know what I love about that one, too? She kicked that one to the fence. Give Westwood some time.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any ball attendance today, so
No, we don't, actually.
give yourself, you know, a good 30 seconds there on that one. That might play well when it comes to the second half. If you get a lead, you know, and
Just kick it.
Kick it to Nahattan Street if you can.
Although, could that be a penalty if you are?
Well, you know, if it's reasonable, hey, it's part of the game. Is, you know, trying
It
to
is.
just trying to get it upfield and it goes off the side of your foot. Can't help that. That ball is heading towards the flag, and it's going to go out the back line and be a goal kick. Oncoming substitution for Medfield. So coming off is Devin Weefer. And we'll get confirmation of who's coming on. Looks like number 3, I believe. Emily Hoffman. Yes. So sophomore for sophomore on that substitution. Elizabeth George, the top player, one of the top players in the league, coach is saying. You can see why. Great vision. Medfield moving the ball inside. Great defense by the Wolverines, kicking that outside. They were able to work it towards the middle of the net front, and a great job by the Wolverine defenders. A couple of them able to push that ball outside, and then boom, look at that, 2 closing in.
Yeah, Morgan, you mentioned George for the Warriors. She was actually listed as one of the Globe's players to watch this year.
Yeah,
in
not
the
surprising.
season preview. So
Some nifty moves there by Heavey. And Westwood able to jump on that. Hansen sends it up the far side. Medfield settles, and they're looking to work it past or into Westwood territory. Westwood forces it back, though. Westwood's aggressive defense just been different. Different look for the Warriors. Shea jumps on the loose ball. It's just great defense, just forcing Medfield to be perfect. Then Westwood very anticipatory on when to have another player jump in to get after a loose ball. Medfield player hits the turf. That's going to be a whistle. They'll have a kick on their side of the 50 with 5 minutes, 33 seconds remaining here in the first half. 1-1 game. Westwood goal was off the foot of Hansen. Is this a offside? No whistle. I can't believe that wasn't. It looked like one of the most offside plays I've ever seen. No call. Let play on. I'm not a homer or anything.
no, not at all.
No.
We don't have any biases.
That's regular
here.
season. We save the no biases for the playoffs.
Right.
It's a good battle going on the far side. Just a great battles going on. The 1-on-1 battles. That is offside. So that is an offside call. Which will be a Westwood kick right around the 5 or 6 yard line. Stamatakos, she's just going to pass it right up the far side to Mason. Mason sends it up the sideline. Goes by Bannister. And then goes out of bounds right around the 45. Throw in by Medfield. Give and go going on, and then kicked out. Oh. That's going to be a whistle on the field. So Medfield will have a kick. This is going to be a good look for them. It's inside the 30. It's got an angle. They tried one on net earlier, and Chiling was able to get the save. And they're going to be a little chip. They're just going to send it into space. It goes off.
And it
It looks
that'll
like
be,
Westwood, so going to be a corner. They have 2 players out there, so keep an eye here. This is where they rushed real quick, and good job by Bannister. She's going to get up there to make sure that it's a kick and not, a pass, and just working it towards the net. So they're going to force the kick. That was a smart play by Bannister. Jumped right up. That ball kicked out by Mason. Jumped right on top of that one. Kick it out right around the 20. 3 minutes remaining here in the first half.
This is the time where both teams are going to want to play, their best. You don't want to let up a goal here going into half. We talk about that a lot. We've seen it this year where that's swung momentum for Westwood, whether it be a positive or negative momentum. So if you're both these teams, you just want to play your best soccer and not have any mistakes and get out of here in the half with, tied up. If you're Westwood, you do want to get that, a goal. That would be great for momentum and carrying it in the second half. But, playing your best soccer here.
Loose ball jumped on by Hansen. Hansen was looking for Bannister, picked off by Medfield. Medfield looking for another look. 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Clock is going to stop. And the rest of the half is going to be on the ref's whistle. 2 minutes guaranteed. Anything after that is up to their discretion. Just love Westwood's style of defense. Death by paper cuts. Just, they have no problem. Just keep kicking it out of bounds. Keep kicking it out of bounds.
And keep the pressure, keep them going for it, kick it out of bounds. You're running the clock down. At this point, stoppage time, so it is on the ref's whistle. And we've seen, stoppage time just goes, 2 minutes. We've seen shorter, we've seen longer. But
we didn't see much stopping. We didn't see much delays.
No, this
I'd imagine it'll be close to the 2 minutes.
I did not do the Tom Lydon time.
Either.
So
Tom did a little audit in one of the games. It was a little short of the 2 minutes.
But
he was on top of it.
He kept
The
them
Tom ball.
honest. But
Yes, Tommy time.
I would imagine that we're gonna get somewhat close as well. We're on time here. This game has been pretty quick. It's 6:54 right now as I look 6:55, excuse me, and we're going quick. I mean, these games are going quick. Started a little late. Refs were a few minutes behind, but it's due to the
Medfield
JV
looking
game.
for a window. Westwood getting a pack on top of the ball. Great job, blocked that attempt. They kicked it out. Medfield jumps right back in, trying to get a look. Westwood jumps in front of it. They have some numbers. McGovern. She's got Gannon. She's got Bannister. And McGovern's going to work it back. Westwood kicks it up, and then that's the whistle for the first half. So what an entertaining first half. Medfield able to score about halfway through on a free kick that was deflected in the back of the net, and then not more than 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, Wolverines were able to work on a loose ball off a corner. Beautiful pass by Olivia Mason, chipped it up to Izzy Hansen, and then Izzy chipped it herself over the goalie, under the bar for the goal, and that has brought us to a 1-1 tie here. So that is going to take it to our break here at the half. I'm going to take a quick break here from our sponsors, and we'll be right back for the second half.
I grew up right here in Islington, wearing the green and white for Westwood High. I wasn't the star quarterback or the Tri-Valley League MVP. I was the guy in the back of the room, learning from the best, filling in where my team needed me. And as a team, we won 2 Super Bowl championships. These years taught me that every role matters. The unsung heroes, the backups, the younger players, they complete the team. And that's the heart of Neroli. From the cooks, to the servers, to the dishwashers, we're a team built on discipline, sacrifice, and trust, delivering authentic Italian dishes to our community. I'm proud to sponsor our hometown teams, not just the All-Stars, but every player grinding it out, because I've been there. Teamwork built me, it built Neroli, and it's building Islington. So come join us for dinner, and let's cheer on our teams together.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian. And Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Welcome back, folks. Westwood running on the field. Medfield in their huddle, and we are almost ready to kick off the second half. What an entertaining first half, Evan. Medfield scored the goal, and, Westwood can make two decisions there. They can say, they scored, they're on the board, and, that's it. They chose the latter of, we're going to go out there and we're going to fight back, and they fought back very quickly to get the tying goal. A great goal by Izzy Hansen, and that's what's brought us to the 1-1 tie we're at right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's that sort of, mentality that you need to have if you're Westwood against a good opponent, not just whether it's Medfield or any opponent they might face in the playoffs or just any good opponent they might face in the regular season. Is you can't let that goal get you down, and to play heads up soccer is big for Westwood. That's a big part of the team and a big part of their identity. And Medfield's fired up too. You see right now on the field, they are energetic, they are loud. They're starting to sort of channel what Westwood has.
So Evan, not to cut you off, but if we look back a year ago, Westwood was going left to right in the second half. And at the half, it was a 1-1 tied game. Tie game. And I think Westwood scored a goal in the first, 7 minutes of the second half.
All right.
So we'll see how much deja vu shades of last year we'll see.
So
But I'm already seeing, this is crazy. Westwood in the pink jerseys. Westwood ties it up a couple seconds later, from a corner. Westwood going left to right in the second half.
We're not live tonight, but we did have the live setup.
We got live.
We have the gear
buzz
here.
Yes, the buzz of live is definitely in the building. And we are underway here in the second half. Hansen back to Lou. Lou going to volley it up. Ahead to McGovern on the far side. Kicked out of bounds by Medfield. Bohm going to throw it in. Looking for, I think, Hansen. That one kicked into the spare net. Right back in play. Medfield kicks it upfield. Lou able to jump in front of that. And Mason finds Gannon. Gannon was looking to send it for Bannister. And now Medfield sends it up the far side. Olivia Mason forces the player inside, and then Shea jumps on it. Kick on net, and that's going to go wide. So the Olivias teaming up there to get some great defense, forcing inside. Then Shea created a nice turnover to then force an outside shot. A goal kick. Made its way to the 40. Medfield was working it and able to work it across the field. Westwood finds it in the center. Going to try and send it in open space.
Izzy Hansen turning on the afterburners.
Yeah. I think that's Bannister. I was able to tell Hansen by the blue cleats, the bluish-green cleats.
Gotcha.
She's working her way towards the sideline. I think that ball got away. Throw in over to Gannon. Gannon scored a couple big goals in her short career so far.
What a career Gannon's had. Sophomores already
Physical
pacing.
play there. Westwood player went down. Medfield player went down. Play on. Big hockey goals, too.
Yeah.
She's had some goals versus Medfield in hockey. Medfield, the season they had last year. Westwood as well.
She's going to be an athlete to watch at Westwood High School for the next few years, and had quite the start to her varsity career in both soccer and
That's the thing is I'd like to see more consideration for like Hall of Famers that were like multi-sport players like that were just winners, good at multi-sports. The trend has been typically, you had to be a stud and like, one of the best in the league in that one sport. But, we got a bunch that were great in so many. Corner kick, ball in the box area.
Yeah, there's something to be said for some of these athletes who can play multiple sports at high levels. I look at Kate Sullivan last year, who played high levels for field hockey, lacrosse,
for hockey.
Hockey, of course. And but there's something special there too to be said of if you're not just good at one sport but good at multiple. And to have sort of that. I look at Drew Donegan, who was a captain in both football and baseball last year, who was an outstanding football player and baseball player as well. So I think those are things that should be considered.
Creating some space. Hansen looking inside. Shot from Westwood, and what a save by the Medfield goalkeeper.
And that's going to be a corner, though.
That was a save off of Travers, and a beautiful passing by the Wolverines. What a look to find her wide open and forced an incredible save. And like you said, corner kick incoming. Goes over off the post and works its way down the far sideline. It's going to go out of bounds. Thrown right back in by Westwood. So Westwood with some great looks here early on in the second half. That was the best save of the game. The goalkeeper for Medfield, Catherine Rodenhigh. What a save. What a pass, though, too, by the Wolverines. I love the patience that they had where they waited for a better look, a better angle. Medfield working it inside. Some nifty moves there by Devin Wafer. A great defense by the Wolverines. Stamatakos. You're doing a good job when you force the team to play it back and then shot towards the net. Chilangua got to take a good angle to allow that to go out. Smart play by Chilangua.
Yeah.
She was protecting it to allow that to work its way out of bounds and become a goal kick. Goal kick makes its way up to the 40-yard line. And Westwood able to volley it into Medfield territory. A little bicycle back kick by Medfield. This is a great matchup we got here. Mason, Weaver, and pass inside. Oh, great play by the Westwood defender, protecting that to allow Chilangua to get on top of it and get her hands on it. I think that was Bohm. It was either Bohm or Lou. Hard to tell with the night games.
The night games.
The letters. Or the numbers, excuse me.
Numbers are a little easier, though, with the pink jerseys compared to their usual green.
But I usually am able to just tell by, like, kind of just the style of play.
Right.
And the defenders play somewhat similar, especially the defenders in the middle. Like, it's never easy when the lights are on, too. You get the glare off the glass here. A lot of factors.
And we're dealing with we shut one of our. We usually have the windows open here, and
I'm a softie. I put I closed the window. It got a little cold.
I don't blame you. I said in the halftime break too, if we could shut the window where the camera is too, we would. But can't get past these posts if we don't. So Gonna have to deal with the elements here at Flay High Field. on
Folks, we
this.
got Matt Grotz on camera today. I'm thankful to him. Evan Cardamino on microphone. Morgan Donahue here on microphone. Westwood Media Center coverage. We've got a terrific game so far here. TVL Girls Soccer knotted up at 1. Westwood had a great look early on in the second half to nearly put them up a goal, but it forced a great save by Rodenhigh. Shea protecting the ball. Settles it. Sends it to Mason. Mason sends it right up to Bannister. Bannister doing a good job protecting it. She was looking for Shea. Chipped up ahead. And doing a good job in space there was Audrey Grandinetti. It's turned a nice defensive play into a clean breakout and then into an offensive look. Mason going to kick it out of bounds. Throw is going to come off the hands of Summer Higgins. That is off Westwood, going to be a corner kick.
You know, one of the things that Westwood has done here that has sort of not been ideal is they have had a lot of corner opportunities for Medfield, which is something that we've seen when Westwood mitigates, they tend to do a lot better. And I would argue any team that mitigates the corner kick opportunities does a lot better. But they've done really good at that corner kick.
Oh, that one was kicked and then goes into the back of the net for the goal. The initial kick off the corner caught a piece of a player there. And then that was put in the back of the net by trying to pick up the number. That was number 25. So Georgia Fiscaldo with the goal. So I think it's got to be related to the Fiscaldos in Westwood. I think
Could be.
there's some, you know, as Craig said a couple years ago when we had Marie Fiscaldo part of Westwood Media Center, he goes, we got to be related. You know, there's not too many Fiscaldos, you know, out there. And he
I think Marie actually looked into that at one point because I did ask her, and I don't think they actually. Marie did, I think, a little bit of a trace back and couldn't find a connection. That's not to say there isn't.
Yeah.
But I know she did look because we saw, I believe the Fiscaldos were on a Westwood Living cover
They
at
were.
one point, and
Yes, they were.
Marie saw it and was curious. But
They're somewhat my new neighbors right now,
yep,
helping out over at parents' house, and they're right across on Sandy Valley Road. It's a great street in Westwood. You know, great dog walking area if you go to the end of the path.
yeah.
You can walk all the way to the end, and it takes you right to the highway.
Saw some dog walkers today actually heading down Gay Street. So
Olivia Mason finds Olivia Shea. They've been doing that for a lot of years now, not only just in soccer, but lacrosse as well. Those two were terrific all year on defense for Westwood Girls Lacrosse. Some big news in the lacrosse world today. Will Sesselman committed to play Division I lacrosse at the University of Albany.
that's an
Incredible.
America East school.
Yeah.
He's
How about that? Another Division I player for boys lacrosse. You know, we see it frequently for the girls, but Don Varnerin setting the trend when it comes to Division I lacrosse out of Westwood High School. So, folks, it is possible. There is a path. There is people who have shown the way to get to the Division I level out of Westwood High School. And looking forward to seeing more to come. They got a talented team.
Great Danes are a great athletic school as well. I have a little familiarity with
Oh,
the
yes.
America East, and they are always at the top of the standings in the America East across most sports. So he's going to a great program in Albany, and
Tell you what, any Division I program that picks up the Williams brothers, that's a steal as well.
you know, he should be. I'm sure we're getting close to that time of year where we do hear where a lot of these Westwood High School seniors intend to go. We're getting close to signing day, I believe. So
Well, for the juniors, yeah. So the Williams are seniors, so they are probably the two best free agents in my opinion. A shot towards the net goes off a player. I think it went off the Medfield player, kicked out by Westwood. But the Williams brothers probably two of the best free agents for seniors right now, because most of the colleges try to lock up the kids by their junior year, which is, imagine that, you're a lacrosse player, you made your decision, you haven't even played your junior year yet. like, so you have 2 years left, like, of chasing after a state championship.
Yeah.
And you don't have that stress of, like, hey, where am I going to go? You got to figure it out. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, he's got it figured down. He can continue to focus on Mays boys.
Yes.
Him and
They're going to be busy. I think they're going to
CJ
be doing
Hancock.
Tom Lydon's residence soon.
I believe tomorrow before the game.
Yeah.
So, gonna get a little work in pregame, and I'm sure we'll come out to the game and support the
Yeah,
Wolverines.
I don't think will be working before the game, but CJ will. Will's having a great year on the defensive
Oh, that's
side
right.
of the ball. I think it's only a matter of time before we start seeing him catch some passes, get some 2 tight end sets, force some linebackers to have to go out and either pass defend him or Murphy. Good luck.
I like to see a little 2 tight end set out of Westwood. That's also
Yeah,
what
too.
we've seen a lot this year. And
Yeah.
I mean, you got Murphy O'Malley, a big tight end up front who's can block, can catch, can do it all, kind of like Gronk. And then you get Sesselman out there and see what you can do. Can you get a little 2 tight end set going for the Wolverines? You see the Patriots do that with Henry and Hooper sometimes. So you'd like to see it.
Will comes from a very athletic family. His father, I believe, I think it was Cortland State he played for. And one of his coaches, Doug Marone.
Yeah.
It was
Current
now
O-line coach.
he's coaching with the Patriots O-line. Yeah.
Yep.
Coached Buffalo. I think he coached Jacksonville.
Yeah, he was most recently in Jacksonville as the head coach, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think.
I remember the guys from Barstool doing. I think they did an interview in like the pool at the Jacksonville football
That's
stadium.
cool. I like that. I always like that about the Jacksonville Stadium. They had the pool in the end zone. I know.
Yeah.
I think in baseball the Marlins have that too.
No, the Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause we were joking around with the home runs that were on the beach volleyball court.
Yeah.
They used to call them splash home runs in baseball at where the Diamondbacks play. So we were calling them splash home runs on the beach volleyball court.
But I don't know what the Patriots could do. They've been doing a lot of renovations. Maybe a little ice rink in the wintertime.
Yeah,
the end zone?
they've done that. Oh, and a shot goes just wide. It actually skimmed the post. And that is going to be a corner on the left side. I don't know how they see that. But going to be a corner from Medfield on the left side. Fiscaldo had the most recent goal off a corner. And that one was headed by Medfield and is going to work its way out of bounds. Goal kick upcoming. About 15 minutes into the second half here, Medfield broke the tie. They were up 2-1 off a goal by Fiscaldo. It was a corner that the ball was able to work its way to the net front. Shot got deflected, and then she jumped on that rebound. Wolverine's going to get some substitutions in. I see Natalie Unger. I see Charlie Juergens. And also Cassidy McGovern. So some of the underclassmen. Unger, a sophomore, Juergens, freshman, McGovern, a freshman. And Evan, when we see them come in games off the bench, they provide a nice little spark.
Well, the big thing for Westwood here is they need to start getting a little more offensive pressure here.
Yeah.
We've been starting to spend a little more time on the Westwood side of the field, and the big thing is getting the opportunities. That's what Medfield has done really well this game is keeping the pressure on, but creating the opportunities. You've seen, if we look at the corner differential through this game, Medfield has the majority of these corners versus Westwood. Mm-hmm. And when you have that, you're creating more and more opportunities for yourself. Now, Westwood has been more efficient with less opportunities. They have a goal versus Medfield's 2. But they've had significantly less opportunities to score those goals.
Yeah.
So if Westwood can start to get some offensive pressure going, I think they're going to find that they're going to have more success. So we have a whistle on the field here.
It's be a push on Medfield Westwood ball.
And this is the type of turnover you need to maybe start to get something going. Can you get this past the 50 and start to get some pressure going? Because you are effective offensively when you get that pressure going. But
yeah, I mean, that look they had early in that looked like it might have been a handball. That look they had early in the second half on the kick by Travers that forced the save of the game.
Oh, and
by
that's
Rodenhigh. Westwood coming away with it. Gannon She's going to send it up on the far side. She's got McGovern chasing after a loose ball. Unger going to work towards the back post. Great job by McGovern, able to protect that and work it into space. Ball loose. And Rodenhigh able to just jump on top of it. Rodenhigh works it up to the 50. Ball going to kick towards the sideline by Mason, kept in by Unger. Unger's got wheels. Not only she keep that in, but she was chasing after running out of bounds and then trying to change the angle. Medfield kicks it out. Westwood will have the throw. Nope, Medfield ball. Throw by number 15, Summer Higgins. They're going to work the long game. That goes out of bounds. So I don't know if that was the boys soccer team that rolled in.
I haven't seen a score update, and I haven't.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I imagine that's definitely a game that's under the lights. I mean, that's a big time game as well.
Oh, you know what? The reason we haven't seen a score is because the game time was 6:30.
Oh.
So
You know
that
what?
was not the boys soccer
Sometimes
team.
they do post the games live. I'm going to check to see if it's on the Medfield live feed. As I hear that Medfield's going to do some more sports coverage, Evan.
I can't confirm or deny that.
Yeah, I've heard a birdie said potentially. You know, I heard through some of the fans that we might see some more games in the future for coverage, which is awesome. The TVL does a great job. There's a lot of great coverage across the board, which is fun to collaborate too, especially the rivalry games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we collaborate a lot with Norwood Community Media. I know they're going to be. They gave us a little shout out actually on
I
their.
saw that on their sports update.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
So they gave us a little shout out.
You know what I did the other day? I reached out to Lewis's
Yep.
and said, hey, I know you guys play the Norwood games. I wanted to give you the link to the Westwood one. Boom. Maybe that goes up on the TV at Lewis's
That'd be great.
Friday night.
And you know, we also got to give a shout out to HCAM. I know we do a lot
Yes.
with Tom Nappy over there, and just got episode 1 of TVL Sportsnet yesterday. So
Really? You've seen it? I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Or the email? Okay.
yeah,
I didn't check it.
The
it was-
community stations get the direct email from Tom before the games go out. So I
think
get
I think I'm part of it. I just
I get the pre.
You get the
we
pre-
get the
yeah.
sneak preview
yeah,
before it
well,
goes
hey,
out. So
and rightfully so.
and you know, the way that'll be for our viewers who do have cable, that'll be going out on cable after the game tomorrow night. So
There
it's
we
it's,
go.
it's Westwood High School football, and then following that, it's going to be the conclusion of the game. You're going to
And
get
I think there's a good chance there'll be some Westwood sports clips on it. Maybe an
more than
interview.
you think.
Yeah.
There's a few Westwood.
Is there?
There
Oh,
is. I don't
okay.
mind spoiling it now because it's already
Yes.
debuted on HCAM, but
Well,
there's a couple games.
Westwood looking inside, and then Rodenhigh comes out to jump on top of it. She's going to throw it upfield.
I know.
Wow, great moves there by midfield defender number 2. Lila Manning. Westwood able to steal it.
And in terms of other shows we have coming up, Morgan, I know in a couple weeks we're going back to Camilla's.
Yes.
I was there today, actually. I got myself a little chicken
you?
pesto sandwich to
Oh,
support the
look at
all-night
you.
grad party.
Nice of
Had
you to do. How was it?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Wow, that's a pretty good score because you're a tough grader. You
I
know, you,
am. I've learned I am a tough grader.
You're a tough grader.
Well, I'm a big food guy, as
Yeah.
you know. I like I like food. But no, it was delicious, and but no, yeah, we're gonna be back at Camilla's for Westwood Living Sports Show
Yeah.
coming up soon,
Some
and
guests are starting to line up, which getting excited about, and some fun topics, conversations, and we'll have a lot to catch up with when it comes to the sports. Loose ball inside. Medfield trying to battle for it. Chalangwa trying to get the hand
It's
on it.
still
Still
loose.
loose. Medfield kick, still loose, but a whistle.
what a battle by Chalangwa though. Impressive that was almost
Yeah.
there was plenty of opportunities there for Medfield to get a goal and go up 3-1 and sort of start to put this game out of reach. Chalangua staying in there and battling and not letting up a goal big, and she really has been
She's done a great job.
instrumental so far in this game. I mean, the scoreboard tells you 2-1. She's let up 2 goals, but like we said, Medfield's been keeping the pressure on defensively all game, and
starters coming back out for the Wolverines.
And it's just been one of those games where she's had a lot of these saves. It's just, you keep putting shots on net, and eventually one's going to go in.
By the way, Evan, no Bella Wen tonight. So
no.
That's an injury that Wolverines, she's been terrific in the midfield. Her and Shea.
One of the captains, yep.
They lead by example. A very important position. Medfield working it towards the net. They're trying to send it through. No one there. Chalangua comes out. She's going to boot it herself. She's got Hansen there. Hansen able to settle that. It's not easy to do. A nice 50-yard kick to settle the ball with no hop. Pretty impressive. That's why she's a Marsh Milestone Moment recipient, Evan.
Yep. Makes sense.
We had our most recent one, Ty Pindell, single game passing record. Pretty impressive when you think about some of the quarterbacks that have come through the program. We'll probably talk about it in more detail tomorrow on the football call, but
yeah.
You look at guys like Greg Warren. Greg Warren, probably one of the best athletes to ever play a sport at Westwood High School, if not the. 458 yards. McGovern jumping on a loose ball. Shot. That's deflected off a Medfield player. Deflected by Libby Sinus. But a good look there. McGovern with some good speed to put a scare.
Morgan, one of the things I don't know about MIA playoff rankings, but I would imagine it does help, is a tie.
They do.
So
it's a good differential. I mean, tie's part of the differential. A pass inside, and an open Medfield player looking to shoot. That goes wide right. That was a good look. Great timing play there. Forced catch shot. Ball goes wide right. Westwood will have a goal kick. Evan, it is now, in my opinion, officially jacket season.
Yeah.
Might have to get the Westwood hockey coaching jacket back out. There's been a lot of games called with that one on.
I think you're going to have to. I think I'm going to have to do the I do the double jacket. Well, I do the jacket.
Double jacket, huh? The hockey jacket?
I got
hockey rink season jacket.
What I'll do is I'll do the standard T-shirt. Then I got the hoodie underneath, and then I go with this jacket because this is good for the rain. If it's not going to rain tomorrow, but
that jacket's seen a lot of games.
Yeah,
that jacket's seen a lot of games.
Yep, and it's great for it's great because it's great for the weather. We've done games in the rain. In those games, you need a jacket like this. The rain just kind of comes right off of it.
Feel with a shot on net. Oh my gosh,
wow,
that's a bullet.
What a shot! That's
a great 21.
21.
Audrey Grandinetti. That was a bullet.
Yep.
It was a knuckler, too. Did you see the movement on that?
I did. I mean, that's for any goalkeeper, that's hard to save. So what an impressive goal for Medfield there. But like we mentioned earlier too, the big thing now is the differential. Can Westwood maintain?
Yeah,
can they maybe get another goal here to bring that differential back within?
Yeah, I think soccer, it might be just 3 goals. I'm not
It
sure.
is, yeah. So soccer, it's if you're within 3, if you let up more than 3, it doesn't hurt as much. But
Hansen, she had the goalie out of the net. So hard to do though, running full speed and to get that towards the net, but also at the right level.
Right.
But good look there. Shea just put that out there for her to work it towards the net.
But no, for the differential, the thing is too is if you can get this within 1 even. That does help differential-wise. Westwood coming in this game is 12th. Going up against number 1 ranked team in Division 3.
But you know what's great? I don't know if I can still do it, but in the past you could see what were the rankings out of all divisions. So they would rank that. And Medfield with the Globe's rankings, which are not mathematical. They're not using the rankings like the MIA does, but the Globe has them at 3. So. This is as if Westwood was Division 1. They're playing a top team right now. Doesn't matter. Take the divisions aside. The third best team in the state's the third best team in the state. Also trying to work it around. Medfield able to clear it. Lou closing in on it. Medfield comes away with it. Chalangwa comes out of the net, but ball goes over her, and that's going to go in the back of the net for a goal. Goal scored by number 1, Devin Wafer. She's been
So Morgan,
an active player all game.
the Globe may have Medfield as the number 3 team, but based on their rating by the MIAA, this is the number 1 team in the state with a 4.951 rating. Second place is Division I's Wellesley with a 4.9397.
Interesting.
So Globe has them ranked at 3, but if you're going to go based off the mathematical rating alone, this is the number 1 team across all 5 divisions in the state of Massachusetts. So, but you got to like, with that being said now, you got to like what you're seeing out of Westwood, that they're keeping up with the number 1 team in the state, the powerhouse that is Medfield. So, keeping it close even is big for Westwood. This is a team that hasn't let up a goal in 3 games. They let up their first goal tonight. So, there are some positives typically taken out of this, and you still have plenty of time. In soccer, goals can happen quickly. So if you're Westwood, keep the pressure on. Keep forcing Medfield to be honest. Can you keep the pressure on and maybe get a goal here and lower that differential? So
Starts with 1. Wolverines had a good look early on in the second half, but that was turned away by Rodenhigh. Looking to chip into this one. Down 4-1 with 12 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. Rodenhigh going to kick it. That ball's going to work its way into Westwood territory. Medfield really starting to open up their offense. Working it into space, open field. Kicked out by Westwood. Gannon going to hop on it. Sends it up to, was looking for McGovern. Loose ball, that is offside. Substitution from Medfield. So we're inside 12 minutes. That's kicked out. I think it's going to stay with Westwood. It is. Westwood with the throw. Bannister is trying to settle it. Medfield able to push that outside. And a loose ball. Westwood sending it towards the middle of the field. Medfield able to come away with it. Yeah, Medfield with some quick goals. They've scored 3 goals in about 10 minutes. 2 of them were basically a minute and a half apart, which they get some explosive offense. Westwood was able to keep it in check for most of the game, but Medfield able to get that ball downfield very quickly and jump on some loose balls, put it in the back of the net to be up 4-1.
Morgan, I won't lie to you. I was too busy looking at these power rankings and trying to figure out who Westwood may be playing early, and I didn't know we got a goal.
McGovern chasing after
it.
Open net, shot, she scores! Cassidy McGovern chased after a loose ball, had a couple players closing in on her, and she found the back of the net. What a goal for the freshman, able to chip into Medfield's lead. And we're going to get a timeout call by head coach Seth Lukash, as it's a 2-goal game with 10 minutes remaining.
And that's big for Westwood. That helps with the point differential as well. That's, you bring it back within 2, and it helps you out for later on in the season. I didn't even realize that Medfield had scored a 4th goal. I was.
I was saying it, and I was like, I don't think Evan sees this right because you were deep into the
deep in the numbers.
power rankings.
Yeah, I was just I like to keep an eye on
Yes.
come this time of year anyway. So
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
just like,
two
I
quick
should
ones.
see who
It,
we're.
it was about a minute and a half after the third one.
And then you said, "Oh, score 2 quick goals within the
Yeah.
10." I was like, "What do you
And then
mean?
you check
two?
out
They
the
only score
scoreboard.
one." I
Yeah.
look up, and it's 4-1 at that point, and then I.
Yeah, that's a big goal by the Wolverines.
it-
Like you said, they have not had the same volume of shots, but they've been quality, and that's a big goal.
And that's the big thing, the thing is that's what we talked about. That was key for this game, was getting the volume, and they didn't quite get the volume, but we're seeing that those shots are more quality. And when Westwood plays opponents that do get those sort of quality, lets them get those opportunities more and more. You see that they have higher scoring games and they can sort of convert more on those goals, which is good for Westwood. That's a big thing you need to have, is the ability to convert. So, Westwood looking to keep it close. I just took another statistical thing for the viewers at home. The most amount of goals Medfield has allowed all season is 2, and they allowed that to Dover Sherborne. Bishop, they allowed that to Bishop Feehan, who won 2-1, and Franklin. So
Those are big teams.
Westwood is getting their goals in against a strong Medfield team that's only allowed 2 points at most in any given game. Hey, Westwood could go for a third here, and we could have ourselves a even better night. Maybe don't come away with the win, but when you're playing against a team that's number 1 in the state, you have to take some positives out of it, and that is a positive, that you put up the most amount of points on them compared to any given team. So, and right now you're tied for that. So, we have a collision on the field.
Yeah, and it looks like the official's taking out a card.
And they're going to,
There's a yellow card on Medfield.
number 6, I believe.
Yeah.
So
she's got to go off the field.
and that's an opportunity for Westwood. They go up a player, or Medfield goes down a player,
I think she has to come off the field and a player
Oh,
comes
do
on.
they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she can come back on, I
Not
think.
like hockey.
Yeah, it's like the sin bin. It's the penalty box.
Well, I know in professional soccer, too, I believe not if you get a yellow, but if you get a red.
You get a red, you're out.
You're
You're
out.
playing
and
down.
You play
for the
down
rest
the
of
entire game.
Yeah.
So
I've seen professional soccer. It's horrible where you get a handball. Like they've called red cards on handballs, where it's not just the guys out, for the rest of the game, but they're also doing a penalty kick. So it's like,
Right.
my goodness, you're losing a guy in. Your guy's most likely going to score, and that is offside. And Medfield is beside themselves. The coach and the player
don't
not
like the
happy
call.
with that. Westwood jumping right back to maximize the remaining time. 8 minutes, 16 seconds.
And you got to imagine Westwood's at least playing with the mindset of, let's try to get some
Get
opportunities
another one
here. Yeah,
Chip away. Get another one. A 1-goal game. I mean that.
Hey, we saw earlier in this game you could score 2 goals quickly. So,
we have.
anything's possible. If you're Westwood, you got to keep the pressure on, though, and you got to keep, getting good looks and getting those opportunities.
A loose ball on the far sideline. McGovern gonna advance it. Hansen chasing it down. The goalkeeper Rodenhigh gonna send it into the middle of the field as Medfield working their breakout. Westwood taking some aggressive angles to try and get the ball back on their foot, as they are going up against Medfield and the clock to try and chip into the 2-goal lead now after McGovern was able to get it within 2. Medfield certainly going to be patient, but I'd imagine they're looking to add another goal.
Right, they're looking to add to
different
that
game these days with the rankings where you want to add the differential.
Right, that's the key here for both these teams right now. Westwood's trying to play to get another goal to get this thing close and maybe even consider tying this. But if you're Medfield, you're trying to think, hey, we want to get the 3 goals we need to continue to boost our differential. And
we got an open Shea in the middle of the field. Shea has some space looking to shoot. She does, and that's going to go wide right. A good play to settle that and to create some space for a quality opportunity.
But yeah, you're playing for Medfield. You're playing to one, sort of finish this game and ice it and put it away. But also, like you said, you got to add to that differential. You want to increase your rating and continue to build on what you have. But if you're Westwood, you're looking to play spoiler of that. So
Gannon sends it up to the far side. Centering attempts kicked out by Medfield.
coming up on 6 minutes left in the game here.
Thrown by Westwood.
We are approaching stoppage time, and now that I'm thinking of it out loud, I will pull out my phone and
Yes.
and do a little Tommy time and
We're doing a little audit.
we'll audit and seeing what we have
They
for
might
the
have
actual
you
time.
do the Academy Awards after this, Evan, with your just extreme professionalism when it comes to audit and fairness.
Maybe. I
I
just
think
want
one of the big I think one of the big consulting firms does it every year.
timing.
No, the like award ceremony,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you know, just the ballots and all that stuff, and counting it, and eventually they bring the awards, they bring the the winning ones to the location, So there's
Yeah.
no funny business of oh hey,
Nope.
this is the real one for best picture of the year.
The timer's been started,
There we go.
and I got my timer going.
The clock has stopped on the scoreboard. The clock has started on Evan's phone. That ball is kicked out of bounds on Medfield's bench. Medfield will have the throw. And look, they do have a sense of urgency. They do want to add another goal. They
Yep.
want that differential.
Yep. Not to mention, this is, like we mentioned before, this is a rivalry game for both teams, and I'm sure there's a little bit of that in the back of these teams' mind as well,
Oh, no
too.
question.
Like, hey, it's our rival. Let's put another one up on them. And
Soccer's typically a sport that the players are multi-sport athletes. So a lot of them have probably played each other in lacrosse, hockey, or basketball. Those are big-time soccer adjoining sports.
Yep.
Gannon working it through the middle of the field.
See a lot of these Westwood athletes. It's either hockey or basketball are the two that I think we see the most common ones
Yep.
with.
Travers was looking upfield. Hansen was ready for the pass, but Medfield able to get their foot on it. Ball in middle of the field. That is launched by Medfield, but headed by Westwood, then headed by Medfield. Crosses the 50. Great defense there.
Oh,
Stamatakos.
Medfield battling.
Yeah. Takes a Westwood bounce. McGovern.
And that's going to be
Oh, that was
Medfield
Gannon.
possession.
Gannon was fighting forward on the near sideline. It's gonna be out on her and Medfield throw.
It's going to be a white. Or no, it's going to be a Westwood possession here. 2 minutes gone in stoppage time.
So 2 minutes in on the stoppage. Westwood sending it up. McGovern trying to chase after it. She got the most recent one. McGovern gets through. And then Medfield able to clear that out. It got past the goalie and the Medfield defender able to clear that out.
Just not enough juice on that kick. A little more, and that might have been a Westwood third goal, and we would be
Yeah.
looking at a 1-point game here, but
It's kicked out of bounds. Medfield, Westwood throw. They don't have a ball attendant over there, but there is a ball that's ready on the sideline. Where are we at, Evan, on the stoppage?
coming up on 3 minutes in, so we're looking at 2 minutes now left in this stoppage time, up roughly, give or take. We don't. It's not quite approximate, and the refs. One of the things that we have to consider is the refs will, if
They'll allow a continuation.
yeah, if there's a potential offensive, if Westwood's down there and they're looking at a chance to maybe score a point, they're not going to stop it right before they take the shot. But if it's in the middle of the field and the midfielders are battling for it, they'll call it then.
Yeah.
So You know, these out of bounds are also starting to run time off now. We're left at 90 seconds left in the stoppage time, roughly. Rough estimate once again, but you know, running down on time here for Westwood, and maybe see if they can get one more opportunity to turn the field, and Medfield keeps it in.
Yeah, working towards the net. Ball loose, shot. That's going to go wide left. So Westwood will have a goal kick. That one gets away.
And
They're going to have to get the ball up on the near sideline here. Some assistance from, got a ball girl on the near side. She's done a great job over on here. We're going to have a kick from, I believe, Stamatakos.
45 seconds till we're in the potentially stop time. But Westwood looking to get something going.
That's a whistle for infraction, not the end of the game.
I thought that too for a second. I was
Westwood
like,
ball.
really?
Hansen going right to work, kicking
Oh,
it.
what a kick.
Gets by. McGovern has been very active here in the second half, trying to work through two players. She hits the turf. No call. A ball on the far
Westwood.
side. Good battle going on there. A throw in by Westwood.
If Westwood can keep the possession here at this point, we are past the 5-minute mark, so if they can keep it down in here, the refs might not call it, but if Medfield can get the ball and get to about midfield, I think you're going to see
There is the cold factor, Evan. You can't underestimate that.
That's
where
true. The refs probably
they're certainly feeling it. They don't have the advantage of closed window that we have right here, although we still have one open for the camera.
one open, but
Yeah.
better than
Better
all
than
four.
three open or four open, yeah.
And that is going to do
That's
it.
going to do it. So Medfield comes away with a 4-2 win. But a great effort by the Wolverines. They gave them a pretty good run. You know, if you take away those quick goals, it's a tie game.
Yeah.
You know, and Westwood had their look too. It could have been a 3-goal game for the Wolverines. So, you know, all in all, a lot of positives to take for the Wolverines here. They played very, very well versus the top team, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
Evan, in terms of the Globe rankings, the top team in the state. So they held their own, you know, and the good thing is you don't play Medfield in the Division II playoffs.
No.
Medfield's in the Division III playoffs, but Westwood's a good team. Westwood is a great team, and they are going to continue to get better and better, and they're going to take what they've learned from this game and take it into the next one. And, you know, any final thoughts from your end, Evan?
Yeah, you know, you don't come away with the win today, but like you said, there are a lot of positives you can take from this game. You know, we said ranked third in the Globe, ranked number 1 based on MAAA ratings across all 5 divisions. A tough opponent, no matter what way you chop it, but you didn't let up. It wasn't a 4-0 game. This was a 4-2 game, and you had a lot of positives you can take away from this. You were in the fight to the end. You were in it this matchup throughout, and you were able to get some good opportunities and good looks. This is just one of those teams where it's like, you know, it's a really hard opponent no matter how you look at it. So for Westwood, you have to feel good at the very least about your team as a whole and looking at the Division II playoffs, looking ahead towards later on in this season where, hey, we can hang with the best of the best in the state.
Yep.
So, you know, not that there's any moral victories. I know we don't really like to, you know, it's not whatever. Say what you will about a moral victory, but there are positives you can take away in this loss and learn from, and also things you can learn from. And, hey, you can hang with these teams. Well, what do you have to do to become one of these teams or beat one of these teams? So
This is where you gain the experience, where you
Yeah.
get the term battle-tested. You played in situations versus good teams and have gotten that experience for when it means the most. You've been well prepared.
And not to mention that the thing, too, with this Westwood team is that there are a lot of underclassmen on this team. There are a lot of freshmen and sophomores that are starting and playing these meaningful minutes, and part of this has to also be a little bit of experience. You know,
Yeah.
Medfield is, I think, predominantly junior and senior. So, you know, for Westwood, this is how you get battle tested. This is not just short term looking at this season, but long term. This is how you build this program to be where you want to be, where in a couple years, I think you're going to see this Westwood team competing with teams like Medfield, like Hopkinton.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it here from Flahay Field. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Soccer. From Matt Grazza to Evan Cardamino to Morgan Donahue. Thank you, folks, and we're looking forward to seeing you all on the next one.